Hi, everybody. This is nadyalutz. I'm starting this new Zoom series called Quantum Toolbox. We all have tons of healing mechanisms, and it's fun to stack them because when you get into things and you start stacking them, then your brain really pays attention. So, starting off about improving eyesight, a little about me. I'm a traditional naturopathic doctor and therapeutic nutrition counselor, quantum healer, and I practice functional neurology. So I really kind of geek out on the neurology stuff. I'm gonna try to make it super simple, but I need to explain a little bit about the eyes so that you do these exercises because they're not fun to do. So I'm hoping I can convince you that it's worthwhile today to do some of these. All right, let's see. We have a medical disclaimer. This is not medical advice. Anything on here, anything we talk about, it's just for educational purposes only, not diagnosing, not treating, anything like that. If you want to implement anything, I suggest that you talk to a provider if you have any questions whatsoever. So what are quantum tools, right? It's a pretty big spectrum, but it's basically any tool that allows the body to optimize and heal itself, right? You're sending frequencies in or you're doing something where the cells in the brain pay attention. Any tools that can increase the immune system and optimize the cell, any tools that will allow you to obtain more information and maybe make some lifestyle changes, because that's when you really see the magic, right? To make lifestyle changes and use these tools. And also, it can optimize the energy. Sometimes we have some imbalances in our human body, and sometimes those quantum tools can go ahead and optimize things. So why do I start with the eyes? We've known for a long time that the eyes are important. We've had some Shakespeare, the eyes are the windows to your soul, Thoreau, the eyes are the jewel of the body. But neuroscience has known that for a long time also. We can basically break the brain up into a lot of different areas. We can break it up on different brain parts, parietal lobe, cerebellum, all of that. But we can also break it up in our sensory brain and our physical brain. Our sensory brain, we have all heard about the five senses, right? Hear, smell, taste, touch. But the sensory brain is comprised of 60% vision. Now, for me, that's amazing because if you think about it, just think back to like a warm, embracing hug from someone you love. That feels amazing, right? Well, vision is actually more important to your brain than that. Or think about the best meal you've ever had, the taste. Vision is more important than that. Smell, more important than that. So it's pretty amazing that vision is so important. And if we think about what we do we do anything to help our eyes as we get older? Can anyone unmute themselves and say I do if they actually do eye exercises every day for 5 to 10 minutes? Anybody? No. Basically, all we do in society is we get lenses, right? We go to the doctor, they put prescription lenses on us, and what does that do to our eyes? It makes them work less, right? So as our vision declines, we don't do exercises to get to the root cause of it and make them stronger. We usually just get reading glasses, we get distance glasses or whatever glasses we need to fix the problem of the eyes, when in fact, that's just putting a Band-Aid on it, right? So if we can optimize our eyes, I want to show you how it can really have an impact on our overall health. I have to get into a little bit of cranial nerves. So many of these nerves are tied to our optic nerve. Here's our optic nerve right here. We have our ocular motor nerve. We have so many different nerves. This is from a scan that I did. The ones that are highlighted in yellow are all tied to our eyes. This is a visual of how your brain is 60% sensory, right? You can see the eyes here, and it just lights up the whole brain. So if we optimize our eyes, then the theory is that we can make our brain stronger and our overall health stronger. Here are the cranial nerves I was talking about, and this is from a bioresonance scanner. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but it tells you which cranial nerves are in and out of range. And the ones highlighted in yellow here are all tied to vision, right? So we have 12 cranial nerves, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 12 are tied to vision, which is pretty amazing. So, and this is important because I'm going to be asking you to do some pretty weird stuff when you're doing your eye exercises, like humming and gargling and biting on something that vibrates and stuff like that, to make your brain pay attention. Okay, so I kind of want to give you a little heads up of why I'm teaching you a little bit about this. So eye exercises are really, really important for everybody. There is a small component of ophthalmologists that do vision training for children, anyone who has any learning disabilities. Most of the time, it's actually the eye's inability to track with each other, right? It has nothing to do with 15 out of 20 on this eye, 20 out of 20 on this eye. Sometimes our eyes do not track, they do not go side to side. So it causes a lot of confusion with reading and writing and mathematics for kids. So it's really important that we test our eyes and we have our eyes going in all different directions. So these are simple eye exercises you can do, and we'll be stacking these with other things. Now, like I said, they're not fun to do it, but we're going to do a couple of things. The trick is to move your eyes, but not your head. You're going to want to move your head, and I'll tell you why later. I'd like you to hold your chin so you know you're not moving your head. And I'd like you to put a finger up in a corner and see if your eyes can go to one corner. Just your eyes, don't move your head. Take that same finger and then go down and see if your eyes can go down. Now switch hands and use the other corner. Go up, go till you can barely see it, but it's still in focus, and then go down. You should have noticed that one is harder than the other. For me, it's my right eye. It's more fatiguing when I do my right eye. Does everyone have, you can raise your hands, everyone have a strong side and a weaker side? That you experience that? Yeah. Does anyone get a little nauseous doing that? No? A little bit? Yeah, it can cause a little bit of nausea because it's tied to everything, right? The vagus nerve and everything. So what I like to do, because since it is not fun and people forget to do it, I tell people to put sticky notes on the corners of their bathroom mirror, 8 of them. One in the right corner, upper, right lower, upper, and then right in the middle, down in the middle, and over the side, right? So you basically have 8 different sticky notes. And while you're brushing your teeth, you're not going to move your head. You're going to move your eyes for 2 minutes. And you're going to go around in both directions of your circle, right? So I'm brushing. It's even better if you have one of those toothbrushes that have a timer, and then it tells you to go from the upper to the lower. It gives you a midway. If you have that, that's fabulous, because then you can be brushing going in one direction for 1 minute, and then you can switch on the other direction. It's okay if you forget. Just maybe if you don't have that toothbrush that stops and gives a little change in vibration, then in the morning you could go in one direction, in the evening you can go in the other direction. Okay, it's important to start going in both directions. Now, why? Oh, and after you do the eye exercises, this is important. You want to rub your hands together. You want to palm your eyes, and you want to relax them. That resets your eyes and it resets your central nervous system. Okay, and it just kind of takes that yucky feeling for some of us away. Any questions on just these simple eye exercises?
Would you repeat the stickies again? I have 6, but I'm missing 2.
Okay, so let's take a clock. You would have 12, 3, 6, and 9. Okay, and then you'd have like 1:30 and 7:30, and you'd have in between the 4 and the 5, and you'd have in between the 10, 11, right? So you're basically creating your own little clock. Does that make sense? So that's how I tell my clients to start. After they've done this for a while, your eyes will actually get stronger. The muscles behind your eyes will get stronger, and it'll be easier to do. And when that happens, then you can write a number on it or a letter on different ones, and you can kind of mix them up. And as you're going, now you're going to not only take them over there, but you're going to focus and you're going to read number 1, F, B, 2, right? So now you're giving your brain something else to do. So that's kind of like the next step if you get that far, okay? Any other questions about the eye exercises?
How far apart do the sticky notes need to be? Are you trying to get them like the size of a clock, or how far apart do they need to be on the mirror?
So everyone's different on that. That's a great question. Our peripheral vision is supposed to be 180 degrees. It's supposed to be here. Most of us have about a 45 to 70-degree peripheral vision, right?
Nadia,
So
we still are seeing the eye exercises?
yeah,
Okay.
I think we still have a question on the eye exercises. So you're going to put the stickies where it's challenging, but it doesn't make you throw up. Does that make sense? And as your eyes get stronger, you'll move them further apart. So they may actually go off the mirror. They may actually go onto the wall. Okay? The trick is not to move your head. You're going to want to move your head. That's why I always have people put their hand here so you can feel it. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now I want to tell you why we have some what I call dead spots in our eyes. One possible thing would be, this is an example that most people can relate to. You're driving down the road and you happen to glance in the mirror because you heard squealing tires and a car hits you from behind. So when my eyes are up at the rear view mirror, I had an accident. And that's a trauma to the brain. That's our brain's number one goal, is to keep us safe, right? So all of a sudden, when I look up at the 1 o'clock, maybe 1:15, 1:30 position, I have a trauma response. My central nervous system says, no, 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 no. Last time we did that, you got in an accident. We don't want you to go up there anymore. Right? So that's like one example of why it might be difficult for someone to look up to the right corner. Or you're walking down the street and you trip and you sprain your ankle, or you break your wrist, or you do something like that, right? Well, chances are when you tripped, you were looking down to see what was going on. So now all of a sudden, when you look down, your central nervous system picks up and it's like, no, 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 let's not do that. Instead of just your eyes looking down, let's go like this and let's move our whole head down. Well, what does that do? When you move your whole head down, which weighs 12 to 16 pounds, you're a greater fall risk, right? If your whole torso is coming forward, you're more likely to fall. So it's super important to train our eyes, okay? Any other questions about eye exercises? Okay. So when we're doing those eye exercises, we're going to stack some things, because we talked about how all these cranial nerves are tied together. Like we have the olfactory nerve, so we can grab our essential oils, right? And while we're doing our eye exercises, guess what we can do? Smell essential oils, right? We're making our brain pay attention. We're trying to make your brain wake up and pay attention so you don't have to do as many eye exercises. Does that make sense? Vibration is fabulous because we're not used to vibration on the head, right? So if you're already brushing your teeth with a vibrating toothbrush, you have that. If you're doing your eye exercises another time, you can take your same vibrating toothbrush and you can bite down while you do your eye exercises and take it around. That will that will involve 3 different cranial nerves here, plus the optic nerve. So you'll pay attention. Humming is fabulous because it activates 3 cranial nerves towards the back by the cerebellum, and that will make your vagus nerve pay attention, which is good. It calms the central nervous system down. So maybe while you're doing your eye exercises and you're smelling your oils, you're inhaling through the nose and you're breathing and humming. So it looks like this. Right? We're making our brain pay attention. When we breathe our nostrils in and out your nose, then your central nervous system calms down. It tells your brain everything's okay. We're just training our eyes and there's not a threat. Now, the one I'm geeking out about, which is another reason I wanted to do eyes, is because now we know to add movement. I know you guys are probably going to think I'm crazy. Wait till I show you. This is why I'm geeking out. Has anyone heard about a homunculus? Way back in 1948, they actually did tests of someone under anesthesia, and they tracked which parts of the brain were responsible for the tongue and the thumbs and the feet and everything. And they found that the face was responsible for a lot. The eyes, the lips, the nose, the hands were huge, right? So when you involve your hands, you can involve your whole brain. Well, in April 19th, they released a study and they changed it. So for 1948, all of neuroscience has been on this side, on the left side of this chart, and they just changed everything. So it's pretty exciting. And if you screenshot and look in closer, the eyes are now tied to movement, right? The eyes over here and the eyes over here and the eyes over here. It's tied to movement. So in my studio, we've just started doing eye exercises while marching and humming, right? Because we now know that they're tied and our brain is going to pay more attention. You guys don't seem excited. This is pretty exciting. Sorry. Okay, so those are the exercises we're going to do. And now we're going to start stacking on tools. Some of us will have these tools and some of us won't have these tools. And it's okay if you have them or if you don't have them. And then we're also going to talk about different things we can do, like vitamins and supplements and everything that will be beneficial for our eyes. Okay. Red light or terahertz is really, really good for the eyes. All of the studies that I'm quoting are on red light. I have tons of different red light diseases, but basically eyesight declines after the age of 40, and it's linked with a 70% reduction in ATP, which means the cells lack energy to function properly. So there have been numerous studies that show that by using red light for 3 minutes, it has to be in the morning, they actually tested this per eye, like this, just 3 minutes, eyes closed, only 3 minutes per day, they had a huge increase in overall vision. Isn't that crazy?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a beamer and I have a red light. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Can I use the beamer, the red light on
Okay.
the beamer?
So there are so many different types of red lights. Some red lights you have to close your eyes. Some beamers, I'm not sure if you have to close your eyes or open your eyes.
You
I would
close them.
suggest close.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd be fine, but I would just double check with each device you have, right? Because I can't possibly know the precautions of every single device. I do have one red light that says avoid the eyes. Most of my red light devices say it's fine, right? So I would just double check with Beamer to make sure about that. I love Beamer.
They say to avoid the eyes, though.
Okay, then I
If
wouldn't
you're
do it. I
in
would.
that area, you always just close your eyes.
I didn't hear the last except close the eyes.
If you get near the eye area, you just close your eyes, though.
Right. Some
Or-
red lights you can actually open your eyes with the red light, and some you can't. So I would reach out to Beamer and say, is it okay if I close my eyes and do it? Because you're actually putting it directly on your eye.
Well, the beamer comes with sunglasses also, so
Right. So it would look like this. My eyes closed. I'm holding it right up against it. I have a 12 by 12 panel that I do that on, that I can actually have my eyes open. And when they're open, I can actually do my eye exercises. So every single red light device is different. I would reach out to the person, reach out to the, manufacturer and see. But I think it's fabulous that they only needed 3 minutes per day. And they tested morning and afternoon. And the people that did the treatment in the morning had much better results. And they found that it's increasing the mitochondria and the ATP in their retina. So it's causing mitochondrial changes, which is just pretty amazing. Also fabulous for brain injuries, neurodegenerative issues, and improves overall vision. Any other questions about red light?
Is it okay if you've had cataract surgery?
Most are, but I would reach out. Terahertz is contraindicated if you've had cataract, if you have lens implants, right? So for the terahertz, we tell people to close their eyes and go like this in a figure 8.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
But if you have metal, if you have implants, if you have metal anywhere in your head or plastic implants, anything in your head, you would not want to use terahertz, right? Because it penetrates a little bit deeper.
So 3 minutes per eye.
Yes.
Hey, Nadia, the band that you put on there, was it the top side of the band that you used?
So the red light is on
Oh,
the bottom.
You also used bottom. Okay.
Yeah, and I just put it like this,
Okay.
yeah.
Does yours get pretty hot?
It gets warm.
Okay.
Yeah, it does get warm.
Nadia, do you have your eye closed when you do that?
On this one, I do. I have a 12 by 12 panel that I can keep open. Like I said, every red light's a little different. So you really have to like get with the manufacturer and find out what is appropriate for each red light. Any other questions on red light? Okay. Is this exciting? Like 3 minutes a day. I don't think you realize when I work with people in my clinic before all these studies came out, I had to make people do 45 minutes of eye exercises. Like this is a game changer. Okay, so bioresonance optimization is fabulous. You can get a lot of information in 3 minutes. You can scan and optimize things, and you can also play frequencies daily while you do the exercises. There are tons of bioresonance devices out there. Different ones give different information. Things you want to look for are the chakras, right? The crown and the third eye. If they're off, if you have any device whatsoever that can optimize those two, it's fabulous, right? Because the crown is responsible for migraines, eye issues, and then the third eye, headaches, eye problems, pineal gland, neurological issues. So I would look at those two with any of your bioresonance devices. And then if you have a device that talks about meridians, you want to look at the gallbladder because that's responsible for the eyes. And if you already know you have eye problems and you don't have a device, that's okay. You can use this little chart, you can screenshot it, and you can use your device. Like this is fabulous for the Terahertz device. You can wand all the areas in the red areas and it will optimize the gallbladder meridian, and it will also optimize your eyes because of that. Any questions about this one? Okay. So nutritional analysis is important. It's one of the main reasons I like my bioresonance devices because it gives me information immediately. You want to make sure your amino acids are up to par, specifically cysteine, glutamic acid, glycine, and lysine. There are plenty of others that are involved, but those 4 are critical for eye health. The microminerals, you want selenium, copper, and zinc are very important. Feel free to screenshot it if you want. And then I've also highlighted all the vitamins that are important. Most of the Bs, B1, 2, and 3, 5, 9, 12, vitamin A, C, and E. Those are all critical, not only for eye health, but for brain health. It would make sense, right? It's right there. Any questions about this?
This is all very amazing information. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Thank
You're welcome.
We have access to this recording.
Yes, I'm going to record it and upload it to YouTube.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now look at this B panel before I go to the new chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are critical, right? 6 vitamin Bs. So it's also important to know if you have the MTHFR gene, because if you have this gene, one or both of them, you're less likely to absorb vitamin B from foods. It's almost impossible after the age of 40 to absorb vitamin B from foods if you have this MTHFR gene. If you don't have the MTHFR gene or you don't know, you can reach out to me and I can just do a quick scan and it will tell you. So this gene has been linked to a number of eye disorders, including diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, 2 different types, cataracts, and other eye disorders. And approximately 30 to 40% of the population has 1 or 2 of the genes. So it's a lot bigger deal than we think, okay? So I'm going to repeat that. If you have the MTHFR gene, it's not the end of the world. Genes don't control everything about us, but we do not absorb B vitamins from food. So you're going to need to take a methylated B vitamin for your eye health if you have that gene. So it's important to know if you have it or not. Any questions about that? Okay. So allergies, especially this time of year, are important, right? They're causing look at Felicia's causing all sorts of eye problems, right? Both food allergies and trees and pollen and everything. So if we can eliminate some of the eye irritants through the food allergies and the pollen, that would be fabulous. It's not always possible, right? We can't live in a bubble. But during allergy time, pollen time, omega-3s are super important for eyes. It's the slip and slide of our cranial nerves, omega-3s, right? So it really coats the optic nerve and all the other nerves involved, and it really helps with the eye dryness and itchiness and just that gritty feeling during pollen season. Okay, any questions about this? Okay. So these are the frequency playlists that I like to play while I'm doing the eye exercises. I find that it makes a huge difference. I have one for eye remedies, I have one for eye regeneration, and one for eye twitching. And it doesn't have to be twitching, but it's any kind of weird neurological stuff. Like if you're getting ocular headaches or migraines or anything like that, the eye twitching one is great. But if you feel like weird neurological stuff going on in your eyes, this is the one to do. If you're not sure what's going on, but your eyes are just declining a little bit, this is the one to do. And the remedies, there's so many different things you can do with this, right? We can just play this and send frequencies to ourselves, or we can imprint the remedies into sugar pellets or water or alcohol or anything, and we can take it, right? So we're making our own homeopathic remedy. These are the remedies that seem to be the best for eye health. Or you can take a dropper bottle, glass bottle, imprint it, and you make eye drops. So there's so many different things you can do when you can make your own remedies, right? So I just love it. You can imprint all of these or one of these into an acupuncture dot, and you can put them on a face mask and wear the face mask at night, right? It's kind of endless what we can do. Any questions about these?
Where do you get the photos?
Would you
I'm
play
sorry,
all 3 lists? Oh, sorry. Would you play all these 3 lists like at one exercise time that you're doing, like per day, or just one per day?
No, I would pick one, the regeneration of the twitching, and do them. And then maybe at night you could do the other one, or you could do the remedies, or you could just do the remedies throughout the day.
Oh, right, because it's 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
just 2 minutes, yeah. Someone else had a question, but I didn't hear what it was.
Yeah, where do you get the playlist?
Oh, you can reach out to me if you want, and I can help you out with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can scan anyone who doesn't have access to a bioresonance device and send you a scan. Any other questions on the playlist? Okay. Or you can optimize just the eyes, right? Simply by going into a comprehensive, or if you have another device, you can click on your eyes and you can optimize it, and it will slowly bring our whole entire eye back into harmonious resonance. All right, that's all I have for my slideshows. Are there any questions?